And we're back. So, you begin walking down this road towards this giant statue. And yeah, I guess as you guys look around and sort of take in the surroundings, this place is very strange to you. It's quite clearly a vastly different culture to what you guys are used to. And in fact, basically one of the only people really here who looks like comfortable around here, or even like remotely looks like the people surrounding you, is Zudar.
Okay. Yeah, because he did say to the other guy that he was like a local, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I had no idea either.
Maybe we should ask about that.
What? Engaging with
Probably.
KCs?
But I guess I guess I could ask him, but I ask now then. Because we're
I mean, you're just walking down a street and nobody is talking to each other, so.
Classic us.
Well, I guess I might as well walk next to Zudar for a bit.
Mhm.
And so
You say that like he doesn't walk just slightly behind you all the time anyway.
yeah, but like now I have to like actually walk next to him.
Yeah.
So this is basically where you're from, or
Pretty much. I grew up about a day's travel to the south from here.
Why didn't you tell us?
I
He
didn't.
says all the way from the back. She just yells it.
I didn't. I didn't think it was particularly important.
well, like I'll just yell back to V like he's an observer.
I like the idea of this conversation happening like this.
Just making sure everyone in the street knows.
Wow. Pozuda.
Well, it's not that big of a deal, but it's always interesting to learn more about, who you're traveling with. Besides, you might have some inside knowledge.
Yeah, he sort of looks around and says, "Well, I've not been here for quite some time, but I know a thing or two about the place. Ancient history mostly, but
Ancient history is what we're here for, so
yes, I heard about that. Kelariis is interested in the hero of Mardan."
yes, I hadn't actually even considered you would know anything about this.
You didn't
Bits
know
and
he was here. or
bits
from
and
here.
pieces.
I guess that's true. Yeah, how familiar are you with Tritherion?
I know of his history.
Are you familiar with the three artifacts that he has? Well,
The Triumvirate,
So-
yes.
yes. Well, we've gotten a clue that the last artifact that we're looking for is has to do with something specific. I'm not entirely clear on the how and what, but I'm sure if we just sit down together, we can figure out the details. See what you know that might be helpful.
Yes. Well, simply put, from what I know, the spear that Jasmal Pashar carried was supposedly a gift from Tritherion, and it performed some important part of during the siege. Although I'm not exactly sure what happened. The old accounts are more than a little spotty, especially after the city changed hands a couple of times in the meantime, and a lot of the old rulers wanted to scrub out some of the history that happened. Jasmal Pashar is not a popular hero by any by any standards.
Wait, so I guess you would also be the person to ask, how much do we have to keep it on the down low, the whole Tritherion thing? Or is Tritherion okay in these parts?
I think you would be better off asking your cleric friend, but
I don't think
Well,
Vondal
like,
was just that.
he's not from around here, but, you know.
I no disrespect intended, but the Order of Torm has a tendency to particularize the worship of certain gods under a particular veil, so to speak. They have a tendency to try to secularize particular organizations. The Church of Tritherion being one of them.
Interesting. Well, I guess if... Well, like, would you happen to know if there's any, temples, or is it just, like, a statue? Or
That is a question that
long
I'm not. I don't actually quite have an answer for that one.
I can
I know there is a grand temple to Torm here, and a number of significant chapels to Palor. As for churches to Tritherion, I'm unsure. You may find a number of shrines, probably more dedicated to Jasmal herself, being considered a sort of a patron saint and guardian of the city, but
Actually, the fact that there's massive, institution dedicated to Torm might be of interest to me. 'Cause I was going to look into that. I've been a little confused so far as to Vondal's ideals, or what they are exactly. They seem conflicting at times.
well, a temple would certainly be a good place to start furthering your education.
Yeah. Well, thanks for now at least. Just, if there's anything you just anything you want to see or do, be sure to mention it. I'm guessing we're going to be around here for a while.
There are a number of places that would interest me to visit.
We can make sure you have some spare time and stuff.
That would be appreciated.
Good. Well, I think that's it for now.
Sort of drops back a step behind you.
And I'll speed up a little bit.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you make it basically to the base of the statue. There's a small, winding step that goes up towards it that leads into the second district.
I guess we'll just
That's a
walk up.
big statue.
Yep.
How big is it?
Difficult to estimate from where you're standing, because it sort of perspective kind of skews it. Maybe 20 feet.
That's a big ass statue.
That is definitely a lot of effort they
Yeah.
put in.
You could actually give me a history check, Vondal, with your stone cunning.
Oh, cool.
Cool. So, yeah, definitely this this statue, when it was built, it's clearly been built from a number of blocks of sandstone, and from looking at it with your knowledge of stone and sculptures, it looks like at some point the hands and the head of this statue were removed and have since been replaced with new replicas. They're not quite the same original stone. They look very similar because the weathering has sort of like accommodated it into the statue, but the colour to your trained eye is very slightly different.
I'll probably mention that.
So yeah, the implication from that is perhaps at some point the statue may have been damaged or deliberately vandalized.
So maybe the city's not as chill with Tritherion as originally speculated.
Maybe there once was Tritherion's imagery on those paths. Who knows?
Well, I feel like the fact that Sudar wasn't able to answer instantly tells us a lot.
Does this, because it looks like she's holding a spear, right? Does a spear look like, is it a spear that we're looking for? Or what is the last weapon that we're looking for?
The spear is the one that you're looking for, yes.
And does it look like a fantastic artifact, or does it look like a normal spear in the statue?
Being wrought out of stone, it's kind of difficult to tell. Like it is a very plain-looking spear, but it does have a like a, is it a winged guard, like at the base of the spear, as if it's for like as if it can be used to be thrown, or it can be used to like intercept blows and stuff.
Huh.
But yeah, other than that, it's being made from stone. It's difficult to make out anything special about it.
I guess we have to do our research.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing that you do notice as you look down from the statue to the archway, there does in the arch seem to be a small shrine built into the wall.
Is there like a little plaque with like an explanation?
Right.
No plaque, but standing within the recess is a similar version of the statue, but this time the woman is kneeling as if presenting the spear towards people, like as if she's holding it out to somebody with her head down. Yeah, there's another similar sort of small stone sculpture, and there's a number of like lit little candles that are like in the recess by the statue, as well as a number of notes that are sort of like that have been left in like a little dip in the shrine.
I assume the notes are like folded, or are they open?
Some of them are like they're like half folded and like thrown in.
I don't really want to like open any of them, but I'm curious.
I mean, you can make a perception check to see if you can read any of them.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. You can't really see from like when they where they're folded, but a brief look at them. You can see like a couple of letters, but they're not letters you recognize. At least I don't think the letters you recognise. You're not proficient in Infernal, are you?
No.
No. Then you do not know the letters.
Interesting. You said that there were offerings to the shrine, or at the shrine? Or did you say that-
There's a number of lit candles, but that seems
Oh,
to be
shit.
it.
Okay. I don't. I don't have any candles. Oh,
Do we have any candles in our bag of holding of shit?
you have
No.
candle.
We don't-
Damn it.
I've got candles.
You have candles? No, but it's
Do you-
kind of
do you want a
Vondal's
candle?
So,
I'm probably not gonna get the candle back. I'll tell you that.
I mean, you can have a candle if you want the candle.
I mean, I don't want
Steal
I've got
the
4 of
candle.
them.
to. Oh,
They're like one cup.
I've got
I
4
was like, yeah.
candles. Do you want a candle? They're
when
not
has
expensive.
he ever used a candle?
Four
don't
candles. Candles
Do you
for
want-
forks.
Do you want a candle?
I would love a candle.
Then
Thank you.
have a candle.
Thanks.
God,
Vondal
too much
produces a
effort.
candle from his cleric supplies.
I will light a candle. I don't
Okay.
know why I feel compelled to light a candle.
Okay, you light a candle, you leave it in the shrine.
Yeah. There's like, yeah. There's not like anything else that stands out there.
No, it is a very simple shrine.
Okay.
What time of day is it now, roughly?
You'd say it's about midday.
Should we have a further look around then?
Guess we might as well.
Sure. Yeah, you remember that Dagran said the Eye of Bahala is just further in.
Well, I guess, Arya, did you want to stop by and pick up some arrows, or do you want to wait until...
Well, Dagran is still on business, so because he left you and went in a different direction.
Should we find the inn?
Yeah,
soon?
probably.
We should find the inn and also, presumably find, also like have a look around, find other important places.
You've got
Yeah.
like a library or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, library
Okay.
would be nice.
Or
So-
like that, or the big market, or a big market square.
Ah.
So yeah, you head up towards the Eye of Bahala. And yes, Dagran is very correct. You do not miss this place because you essentially reach a fork in the street. And right on the corner, a peculiar triangular-shaped building with huge arches painted in blue and red is a place that looks very much like an inn with like it's got like basically like a number of tiered like floors with balconies, and it looks like a very sort of like it's a more of an upper class establishment. Essentially situated out front is a large carved statue of a cat that is essentially it is like like when a cat stretches out and like flexes its claws when it's like when it stretches. It's stretching forwards, extending its claws, and it's like the statue of the cat is probably like the size of Kelariis.
That's pretty big.
It is quite big, and it is made of some sort of black stone that you don't recognize. Although Vondal, you would recognize it, but I'm actually not sure what kind of stone it is. But it is a dark stone, and around its neck it has like a little. At first glance, it looks like emerald and gold necklace, but it is actually it's actually just made of little wooden slats that have been painted. But the painting is so good, like the gems look like they are actually three-dimensional. But yes, it is wearing a gold and emerald necklace, and it has two very, very bright green eyes. And yes, a sign above the door says, "All patrons welcome within to the Eye of Bahala."
I like cats. Let's go in.
Good logic.
Okay.
It is good logic.
Yes. As you all enter inside, the first thing that comes to your attention... actually, no, there's two things that come to your attention. The first thing that you notice is that the temperature drops by a number of degrees.
They have invented cooling.
It is cool in here.
God.
The second thing that you notice is there appears to be a very faint wind instrument being played somewhere. But as you turn your heads to try and work out where it is, it always seems to be just on the very periphery of your hearing.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah, that is actually quite annoying.
Why bust?
Oh yeah, so the once you've become acclimatized to sort of this thing, you notice that there is a long wooden desk, and stood behind the long wooden desk is a very like a okay, I think crimson red is the wrong word, but a very sort of a deep red-skinned tiefling is sitting behind the desk, and behind him, essentially sorting through a number of boxes, is a darker-skinned woman who seems to be wearing like some fairly elaborate jewelry and a long robe.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to approach them for a room. Excuse me. Well, I woke up to her again.
If you walk up to the desk, the tiefling sort of like notices your presence, and sort of says, "Greetings, esteemed guests, and welcome to the Eye of Bahala. How may I serve?"
Huh, esteemed guests.
Shit.
We are looking for a place to stay, and it seemed like a suitable location. How much would how much would it run us for
There's like 7 of us.
for 7 people a night?
He sort of he looks you over, like looks at your party and sort of says, well, that would depend on exactly how you wish to be roomed. We have a number of individual rooms, several twin rooms, several double rooms, but for a party the size of yours, you may want to consider one of the suites.
Oh. Suite sound interesting. How many does a suite like reasonably take care of?
Let me find out for you.
Offering things you don't know what are yet.
You're 7, yes?
We're 7.
Okay. He says for the 7 of you, it would cost you to rent one of the suites would cost you 8 gold a night.
Oh, that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
For hotel prices, like in this universe, that's fucking expensive. But for you guys, it's peanuts.
Well, like,
We're
Yeah.
like,
Well,
whatevs.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Technically, we've been spending like what 1 gold a night in the past.
yeah, and this is like
That's only 1 gold more.
Yeah.
well, it's 1 gold like spread over the party, so it's not even a full gold extra.
It's 1 1/7 gold more.
and then
1
we're
and a 7
we're like a we're like a fancy location.
It's pretty good.
It has
Yeah.
air conditioning.
It has air conditioning.
Does everything.
What if
Let's
they
do it.
Sure, we'll take it. Actually, I should probably figure out how long we're going to stay. Do we guys have any
I
idea
think we
yet?
know that in advance.
I think we know that.
How many days shall we stay for now? We'll just do 3 days at least,
Yeah.
because we're definitely gonna spend
Well, we
like
can always extend.
sure. We'll just start off as 3 days, but we're assuming to stay longer.
Who's
Yeah.
gonna pay it?
I mean,
sure,
I can pay for 1 night at least.
Like
Yeah.
well, since I'm doing the talking, I might as well hand over the money.
Okay, yeah, you slide a stack of gold across the table. The tiefling takes it, and he takes the stack of gold that you provide to him, and he, with what is clearly a very, very dexterous hand, flips the coins over like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that very, very quickly. And has them like all aligned like in a stack once he's like flipped them all. And he counts at like a lightning speed. He just goes, yes, that seems sufficient for 3 nights. And he breaks it into 2 stacks, places it behind the desk. Turns to the woman in the jewellery and robe and says, my mistress, these guests would like a key. At which point she turns from what it is that she's doing, notices you all and says, a suite for you all then? The 2nd floor. And she walks into a little back room and comes back with a key that is it's a heavy sort of like wrought iron key, but attached to the heavy wrought iron key is a gemstone cat's eye. And she hands it over to you.
Wow.
Right.
How very fancy.
This place is
guess-
pretentious as shit.
I guess we'll just
True that.
guess we'll just head up into the suite.
Okay.
Check it out.
Yeah. You
form a
you
plan.
you go to head upstairs, and the tiefling sort of turns to them and says, my mistress, might I be excused to help the guests take their things upstairs? At which point she nods. And he comes out from behind the desk and says, please allow me to carry your things.
Sure. We don't have much to carry, do we?
We have backpacks.
You literally all have backpacks stuffed full of shit.
We do.
I guess that. Well, like, I don't have much in my backpack anymore nowadays.
V keeps her bedroll on her and stuff.
Okay. Well, he will take anything that you give him. And you head upstairs to the 2nd floor, where he gestures to you to the end of the corridor. And as you step inside, you can see why this is basically a suite, because the door opens up into a room that is filled with like long sofas. and it seems to have like a room off to one side and a room off to the other side. One of which seems to be like a large bathroom area, and the other one which seems to have like a number of beds that are just they're very sort of like low to the ground, but they the room is sort of like almost semicircular, and they curve around the room so that if you were all lying in bed, you'd actually all be facing the center of the room.
That's very strange, but okay.
It is very strange. And the thing that strikes you the most is that between all of them, they all have a curtain that you can draw around them, which is presumably an aid against flying creatures of the desert.
Interesting.
The other thing that you notice is just beyond the room full of sofas, as you come through the door, is literally one of the balconies that you could see from outside.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
We have a balcony.
You do. The tiefling like sort of brings all your things inside and like places them gently on the sofa. And he says, if that is all, I will take my leave. But if you have need of anything, please do not hesitate to call.
Thank you very much.
He bows and walks out.
Okay, this place is like really weird, but whatever.
Oh, it's just a bit fancier.
It's fancy.
Yeah.
I'm
Class.
getting a very uncertain vibe from like the relationship between those two, and it's slightly
Yeah.
concerning, considering the history of the city that I know of.
Wait, what? Like, what were they both? Like, I know the one behind the desk was a tiefling.
The other one was a human woman.
Well, so Vondal. What is Storm's position? What exactly is Storm's position on Tritherion? Because apparently Storm is, well, kind of a big deal around these parts.
This is an understatement. Torm is a big deal everywhere in human society, but
Well, like,
Yeah.
you know how in the human parts, like, sure, like they know of him, but like he's not. He wasn't the god that they all like worship.
oh, he isn't necessarily here. There's just a large temple here.
No, but like,
Well-
I mean, as in he has a large presence.
Yes.
Like a large temple usually means there's more followers.
Or somebody came in and built a large temple.
Yeah, I guess that is an excellent question, which I think I only vaguely know the answer to.
What do you think you know the answer?
He's just kind of like, like a kind of, I don't like you that much, but you're not that bad, so.
Well, the general perception of Tritherion to Torm is Torm never forgave Tritherion for giving humanity free will, because in his opinion that was a really terrible idea, because he essentially introduced sin into humanity by giving them free will. Tritherion argues that without free will they were just mindless drones and they deserve to have a life of their own, and this is a massive religious debate that's gone on for centuries, and Torm seems to be winning in general, because people don't like evil.
Yeah, but they do
Alright,
like these
well-
mindless drones.
So there you go. But I think people apparently would rather be mindless drones than have people be bastards to them, which I can kind of understand.
Well, it's more that Torm was considered, well, Torm, Palor, and Helm to a certain extent were considered guardians against evil. Like they watched over humanity, and that evil was a corruption that came in and stole humanity away from goodness. And then when Tritherion set them free, people started turning voluntarily to evil, and that is worse.
Well then. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's the.
Yeah.
I imagine Kelariis is very uncomfortable listening to this. Vondal explains it all.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, this isn't news to you. This is
Yeah.
this is what you know from what Tritherion said to you.
Yeah, but it's still not nice to, like,
No.
hear it. But I don't hold it against Vondal specifically. And I don't agree with it. Like, I don't agree with, like, Form's side of it. Unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
God, yeah, I
Good
never would
plan.
have. God, that's such a surprising turn of events. Ah,
I know, that's like, you never would have guessed it.
I know. God damn.
Anyway. So yeah, you have your answer.
So there you go, Grim.
Well, I guess best to keep Tritherion little bit quiet. Like maybe not
Keep it on the
flash.
DL.
Yeah, maybe not like flash your holy symbol.
I mean, have I ever?
No, but considering the massive statue, this was like the one golden opportunity so far.
Now gone
True.
for whatever reason.
Well, Jasmal Pashar seems to be revered as a saint, so there is perhaps some presence here that exists that is not pushed underground. But what there is of that to see, you have yet to find it.
Yeah, but it's always
Maybe I'll have to go looking.
Yeah,
It's
we've
harder
got some
to take-
investigations to run.
like it's always harder to take it back once you've openly like
Yeah.
admitted it.
God,
It's like,
suddenly,
no, just kidding.
suddenly there's a lot of things I want to do.
Well, I guess what are we gonna do today? I assume it's like afternoon-ish?
Yeah, it's like 2 PM by this point.
I guess what we should do is get a feel for our surroundings. Have a look around, see if we can locate major things.
Yeah.
Library, always good. You have any idea, Kelariis, as to you're looking for tomb?
Well, I know that Jasmal was buried under the city?
Yes.
Yes, under the city, but I don't know if it's publicly
Tomb.
accessible. And I don't know.
Presumably
if
not.
the spe- What?
Just saying, presumably it's not.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the spear was also buried with her. It was clear.
Oh. Guess we'll at least we have something to start off with.
We're gonna turn into Tomb Raiders. That's what I'm
We-
getting.
I don't
We have a
wanna-
lot of we have a lot of research to do.
I was,
We have a lot of research to do before we can start looking for anything.
I was about to, yeah, I agree. We should probably split up and
Look for
go to the
clues.
library and stuff.
Well, I say today we sort of look around, figure out where everything is, and then tomorrow we can sort of split off.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
and
but like
take-
this is more like it's like a plan of action flow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
First, figure out where everything is. But, yeah. But maybe we can find something interesting here. Like why there's so many. Oh, I should ask Sudar. Do you have any idea why there's so many heavily armed adventurers, or well, just people in general?
He sort of shrugs. I'm afraid I don't really know. Although the one thing that usually holds true is that where numbers of adventurers gather, there is usually an opportunity to gather gold.
let's hope they're not all trying to raid the two that we're going for. Or crypt, or whatever it is. Well, I guess... Anything anyone wants to see?
You don't know where anything is.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't.
Yeah, go find the thing before we know
Yeah,
it.
well, I was more thinking along the lines, because I see... I'm gonna, like, when we're gonna look tomorrow for stuff, I'm definitely gonna stop by Torm's temple and figure out more about Torm. But I was more thinking along the lines of, is there anything we need to find? Like, does anybody want, like, well, probably gonna have to look for souvenirs because we can't.
Yeah.
That's basically
Well, generally what we need to find is places to buy various supplies.
Yeah, and then
So
we can go to the big
shops,
market and maybe find.
marketplaces.
Yeah, maybe find the person that Vondal was looking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shops, marketplaces, various other things.
Yeah, I know the basics, but it was more if anyone needed anything specialized.
And we need to
And that was at the
find
time.
we need to find a library to do some research in, or any other place for that matter where
That
we could
was-
do any research. And I don't know if, well, we know there's a large temple to Torm, but perhaps it would be, well, in our best interest to find wherever Tritherion's presence is here.
I have intentions to seek out if there's any people here that follow him.
So that's really our list of places to find. Marketplace, shops,
Yep.
libraries, any kind of
Temples.
religious presence of Torm. Well, no, Tritherion.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, I got that
Like,
that
Torm's
completely
not gonna be
wrong.
hard to find, buddy.
No,
Yeah.
not at
Yeah.
all.
Well, so I guess nothing else. No one.
Well,
That's it.
that's as may come. You have yet to explore. It's a big city.
Let us go.
Okay. So you go downstairs. You presumably leave some of your stuff behind.
Yeah.
In which case, Zudar decides that he will remain here and keep an eye on the stuff and do some writing.
Very well.
Good old.
Good old Zudar.
Zuri.
And the rest of you,
Please tell me that V actually calls him that.
No, he does. She does not.
Dang.
you descend the stairs, walk out back into the lobby. The tiefling nods his head at you as you walk out into the street. Everybody, roll me a perception check.
That's always a good start.
Right.
Nailed it.
Oh, great.
Oh,
You can do it,
oh,
guys.
wait.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
No,
Damn,
that's not. That's.
Okay.
That's persuasion.
That's persuasion.
That is persuasion.
that is indeed.
Can I persuade you to take that role? Oh, wait.
Again, wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry, my perception is not.
Okay.
Worse.
Okay.
The
So,
universe is punishing you for making the wrong roll.
Vondal, Kelariis, and V, as you step out into the street and the warmth hits you again, a thin breeze sort of like drifts down the street that you can feel, and carried upon it is some familiar smells, the smell of leather working and spices, but also a number of alien smells, sort of like assail your nostrils and
Go
like
that
things
way.
that you're not quite familiar with.
Bye, Vondal.
Go that way.
Okay, Vondal starts walking off in a direction.
Wait, I thought we were. Okay.
I
follow
guess we
Vondal.
follow.
Okay. So, Vondal, you walk off down one of the forks on either side of the Eye of Bahala, and you come out into a street. And there's a number of market stalls set out in this long wide street, and ordinarily, like you, with the way that this is like a east-west street, you imagine that the sun must beat down on this street almost the whole day. So it looks like the stallholders have basically over the top of the nearby buildings have strung a number of coloured cloths to provide shade from the sun, which serves the effect of like creating a lovely like little like dappled sun effect in various colours as you walk down this thing.
This seems familiar.
It does. Presume you carry on walking down it.
Yes.
A number of traders sort of like sort of badgering you for attention, trying to sell you things, but you are too focused. You carry on walking until you spot just ahead of you, in the shade of a nearby tall amber stone building, is an arch that leads into a small garden.
Fuck yes.
Well, this seems like exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah. You step through into this beautiful tranquil garden. As you look around, you can see the large amber stone building just a short distance away, with a large set of stairs leading up to it.
Sorry, say that again.
You see the large amber stone building with a set of stairs that lead up to the front doors.
Oh,
Is there any clear indication from the outside of what it is?
Give me a perception check. Okay. Basically, on the arch that covers the top of these double doors is a large carving of a gauntleted fist, or gauntleted hand rather.
Yeah, that seems familiar.
It does.
That is Tom's symbol, unless I'm not mistaken.
You are not.
Then I'd like to head inside.
Okay, so you walk up the steps, push open the door, and enter into a fairly quiet hall that is filled only with the slight murmurs of a small crowd inside. You gaze upon the huge vaulted ceilings of this temple, and notice a number of members of clergy in long robes walking around inside, and you see a familiar mosaic floor that depicts a number of scenes from the Book of Torm. And as you cast your gaze around this, you're looking for something in particular, one particular altar, and you notice it. And as you notice it, you see that kneeling in front of it is a shaven-headed man who, with dark skin, who is kneeling in front of the altar with a large greatsword placed on top of the altar. And that is where we're going to end the session.
Yes.
Ah.
I knew we were building up to something. I was like, why is he dragging this so fucking out? And that's why.
And that is
Because
exactly why.
literally everything he explained was basically exactly what he explained was going on in the dream.
Yes.
But
He basically explained that guy going
Yes.
through what we just went through.
Yes.
how trippy.
Yeah.
So,
I think that was the quickest fulfilling dream there's been so far.
indeed. It's almost as if the dreams have been slowly building up to this point.
I know, God.
Yes. So, shall we, very quickly, as it is getting quite late, gather up what it is that we have learned this session? Must I... Well, I won't lie, there's not a lot of experience awarding to be done.
What experience have we earned this session? Fuck all.
Well,
Each.
you do get some extra experience for reaching Mardan, because that is a key plot point, so...
Oh, cool.
Well,
Yeah, pretty much. That is
I
a
mean
pretty
that-
accurate
I
summary.
mean that in the best way.
No, yeah, I know, and it's great, and I love it. Yes, I understood perfectly.
Do you understand?
Because for the first time he showed me something clear and not weird and metaphorical.
The fire was not metaphorical.
But to be fair, it wasn't exactly applied to anything. It was just kind of
No.
Yeah.
Well,
It was
he had
just-
no context for this one either. It's just that he happened to walk
Yeah.
into the exact same moment.
Yeah.
So, what have we learned?
Oh god.
Cav may
think-
need a moment to collect himself.
I
Tab is
think
loading. Please wait.
I'm at that awkward phase of like 99%, but that last 1% is taking longer than the entirety of the rest of the 99%. Because, like, I guess what I've learned is that it is very nice and relaxing to just have a chill session, and it was nice to get a nice chill set of character backstory and like history moments.
Hmm.
And well, it was actually, I think Vondal very much quite happy that, hey, there we go. Like he's learned that it's very much a good idea to keep his faith with Tom, because he's like Tom at never point has given him a reason to doubt the faith that he puts in him.
Hmm.
And once again, Tom has guided him in the right path,
Indeed.
and he's ready to well do his job. But yeah, he's quite glad to get a little bit of insight into his companions once more. He's enjoying spending time with them as always, even if all he really did at the beach was sit there and look at clouds.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think him for much of a swimmer, to be honest.
No, just because you can doesn't mean you enjoy necessarily.
Yeah. He was quite happy just letting them have their fun
Yeah.
and just observing.
Hmm. Well, yes. You may have. Oops. 1,125 experience.
Oh.
Who is next?
Well, I don't have much to say, so I can go.
Okay.
If anyone has any objections. Yeah, the session was kind of chill for Arya. She didn't do a whole lot, which is fine. I enjoyed listening to all the adorable Kelariis backstory.
Mm.
Well, not backstory, but they're actually with their family, I guess.
Exposition.
Exposition. Good word. I didn't think about it.
You got to indulge in your classic suspicious nature.
Yes, I was very happy to learn more about her family. I, in general, enjoy characters' backstories, so this was nice. But, yeah, in terms of Arya, what she learned, I mean, I think it's quite startling to realize that a large number of people live in a place with, like, no trees.
Yep.
She feels so exposed whenever she's not in a forest, like on the beach. It was awful because she was like, "There's just sand,
No
there's
cover.
nowhere to hide."
I hate sand.
I hate sand.
It was rough, irritating,
Yep,
and it gets in your bag of holding.
it does. And then you gotta empty it out, and it's a big hassle. Yeah, and I mean, Arya doesn't really get the whole like bickering amongst god things because like Melora's pretty chill for the most part. She just kind of hangs out.
Apart from her entire rebellious phase where she went against both of her parents, but it's fine.
Well, that's fine. You don't talk about that. I mean, that doesn't really affect Arya
No.
in any way, so that already happened.
I mean, you're also not that religious.
No.
No, I just follow her teachings, but like I don't like.
Nobody
I
would
mean-
care if you went like, well, actually, fuck Melora.
I mean, her daughter might care a little bit.
Yeah, okay, Lyra
Yeah.
would care.
And since we're like bonded, that would be a little awkward. But you know, aside from that, but it's not like I'm not like carrying around a holy symbol and like.
No.
I mean, sometimes she prays to Melora, but it's very rare. It's only when she's like in danger.
Christmas and
But
Easter
yeah.
sort of job.
Christmas and Easter, yeah. Yep. I don't know if Melora has holidays. Does she have like holidays?
She has
You don't have-
celebrations. She doesn't have holidays.
Because I was like, I don't know.
She has a
if it's,
celebration in winter that's entirely about storms.
Like... Oh, that's fun. Maybe she'll like go partied out there one time.
Hmm.
That would be fun.
Anyway,
That's besides the point.
just
but-
random lore.
Yeah, random world building. But yeah, she's a little bit interested about this whole Torm, Tritherion stuff. She's excited to see all three pieces come together, because, like, I feel like we've been building to this from, like, the first
Yep.
session, which has been a long time coming, so that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, take your experience. Next, please.
Well, I kind of want to add on to what Luka said with
Go for it.
what Arya thinks about the whole Tritherion Torm thing. I think V sort of does kind of care about it, but she just kind of wishes everybody could get along.
Yes.
Especially because, from experience with Vondal and then with Kelariis, she knows that both are good gods. Like they're nice people and they have everyone's best interests in mind. So she finds it frustrating that they can't get along.
Yes.
She kind of wishes she could just walk up to whatever the fuck they are and be like, "Stop being dicks to each other."
I mean, hey, get powerful enough.
And I could actually do that. That would actually be to just walk up to gods and be like, "Play nice."
Yo, stop that shit.
Play nice.
I mean, like, because I think V thinks, like, you're both good gods and I understand where you're coming from, but you can stay in your damn lane. And, like, not try to destroy what the other person is doing. Because I think that's the problem with the whole Tritherion Torm thing, is that Torm seems to actively be trying to destroy things that Tritherion is doing, and that's not cool. So yeah. I mean, the rest of the session has been pretty chill. We got to hang out on the beach each episode.
Yep.
I
did
got some
promise.
great seashells and some pretty coral from a lady
A lady.
who was very mysterious.
Mysterious lady TM.
Mysterious lady.
God. Fucking.
We've known a couple of those.
Mm.
This one is a water one instead of a death one.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's been pretty cool. V has been pretty chill, basically the whole session. Yeah.
With the exception of actually when you were sweltering, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
We were
god.
dying from heat.
Which has
Kind of
basically
what I
been
feel.
like for 2 weeks now.
It's kind of what I feel like right now, actually.
Yep.
It's true to
Hopefully-
life.
Hopefully, like, tomorrow or the day after it'll be better, but holy shit. Yeah. Full session. Just kind of... I did feel like the first part of the session was slow. We just kind of hang
Well,
around.
We managed to finish where I wanted us to finish, so
Yeah,
it's okay.
Okay, well, that's good then. For once you didn't think, like, oh, they'll definitely get to this part, like, super easy, and we spent, like, a week in-game just fucking around.
No, it was good.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, take your experience.
Yeah.
Don't make me pick.
Wow.
Rob, dad mode engage.
Fine, I'll go for once.
Okay.
I'll
Damn.
not
Sure.
go last. Look.
Okay.
Look. I'll break the. Actually, I did that last time as well, but that was because we came literally off of something.
Like I've gone second, but like a lot recently.
It's. Yeah, fair.
Anyway,
Well, I mean, having the little like kind of random beach thing was really nice.
Yeah.
And I think that for myself and for Kelariis, it was. I guess I don't know if cathartic is the word I'm looking for, but it's the word I'm gonna use, like to actually lay everything out, even though I didn't actually say it, but like to know that
Yeah.
it's all been.
yeah,
forever.
cathartic.
Yeah. It was a very nice thing to have, like, all of it's out there now. Like, there is nothing that people don't know now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you might have to like expand a little bit for your companions, but you can do that sort of out of game. 'Cause-
yeah. Yeah, and I think most of them have kind of bits and pieces. A lot of
Yeah.
it for me out of character, but I can do it again. But
Yeah.
it's
A
like
recap
very,
would be good.
Yeah. I am less suspicious of. Immediately forgot her name. Really
Hayasa.
bad at names. Yeah, Hayasa. I'm not suspicious of her, but I want to know what was up with her because I have an idea. Stop laughing.
Oh yeah, you'll have to tell me afterwards, because apparently it's interesting.
Oh, yeah, because he walked away when I was
Yes.
saying break.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Kelariis is super now into the whole like, all right, third artifact, here we go. We had our nice break time. She got to see her family, which was really nice. As awkward as it was at times, it was very nice to be home. But now she's like, all right, business mode again. Here we go, guys. And I think it's gonna be interesting. I know she doesn't want to break into a tomb if she can help it, but if it comes to that, I mean, she's gonna go for it, you know?
Yes.
But yeah, let's hope it doesn't come to that, because I really don't want to piss off an entire city by breaking into the tomb of a person that like a decent number of people consider to be a hero of some sort, or a patron saint. So, yeah. I don't want to break into a tomb. I don't have to, but it might come to that, which is worrying. But yeah, I'm also curious about the city in general. It's like,
Yes.
new place, what's going on?
New place, who dis?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I for one I'm looking forward to the uncovering of mysteries in Mardan, because I've got a lot of cool ideas that I want to explore.
Yeah, it gives off the vibe of like, we're here for certain things, but we're gonna find about 50 other things to do while we're here.
Yes. Especially because you're not on any time pressure.
Yeah. Which is exciting in like a kind of terrifying way, because we don't have a super streamlined plan. But it's nice sometimes to not have that.
Yeah. Can be more classic adventurers.
Yeah.
Have a look at the job board.
Indeed. So, yeah, take your experience. And last but not least.
Well, was interesting. Little slow session. But that's okay. Guess I got to learn a little bit about Sudar, a little bit about, well, tiny bit about Vondal, lots about Kelariis. It's been another session with a lot of story, actually. See, the more I think about it, the more I realize that we have learned. But yeah, it's definitely interesting with this whole massive stone city, basically. Like I kind of want to know what's up with all the adventurers. Like, it doesn't seem like quite the normal thing. Yeah, and then as as Grim. Don't think he cared too much for the beach day, but you know what? He didn't have anything else to do anyway.
Hmm.
At least nothing he could do there. He was rather intrigued to, well, learn more about everyone. The fact that we've actually like found the building that Vondal described. It's also quite interesting. I think it also gives him a little bit more insight into, well, a tiny bit more insight into the divine workings.
Hmm.
Like, you don't often see, well, such direct results.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's it. He's curious as to how the whole, oh, what's the name of the end? How the cooling system and the music works.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, the Eye of Bahala. Yes.
but yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's probably mostly magic. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But how it works is the interesting question.
that is true. And yeah, lots of opportunities. I did not expect Storm to be the biggest thing in this city, or so big. But it's convenient due to my well, to looking for a way to connect to Vondal or figure out more about him.
Yeah, that's it's interesting how that worked out actually, because you didn't come up with that until you were already on the road to Mardan.
Yes.
And I actually designed the what the temples and stuff were in Mardan like a couple of months ago. So
I have a knack for this. Like when I came back, I decided to get like knowledge on fiends, and we raid a demon-infested tower.
Yep.
Like now, wanna do shit with Vondal, and there's everything I need on a silver platter.
Yeah.
Well, not quite on a silver platter, but yes.
No.
So look, it's as close to
Readily
silver.
available.
It's basically there. Like all the tools should
Yes.
be available. Now I just need to play my cards correctly, which, as Grim, is going to involve insulting the wrong person, I'm pretty sure.
Insulting a priest, probably.
Probably, and it's going to get overly complicated for the most basic of things. But it's going to be great. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Take your experience, and with that, it's time to say goodnight. So, thank you all for watching, thank you all for playing, and we'll see you all next time.
Good night.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.